What is going on, guys? Disney Dan here. Welcome back into the channel and welcome to episode 54 of Disney Fiasco. It's the year anniversary of this show is gone now. We are powering through another year of Disney Fiasco. We're having so much fun and we are continuing from last week because last week was so much fun. We decided to continue walking around the World Showcase. First and foremost, I need to welcome back. Now, we haven't done a show together since episode 45, except for our 1 year anniversary where she came in just about to get onto a plane. It's been that long.
What? That can't be right.
I've just checked.
For 10 weeks?
It's been a long time. Because you've had exams and you've been away and
that was for like the last 3 weeks. What did I do?
I don't know. I just checked. It's been a while.
Wow.
It's been a long time, but it is so good to have you back. Meg from Mickey's Magic, my partner channel. Welcome back into Disney Fiasco.
Thanks, Dan.
And you brought a special guest with you as well.
Oh, yes. I have Rosie. She's here.
Rosie.
Let's say hi. Rose.
And this is the first time we've brought a dog onto Disney Fiasco. Hashtag dogs for life. And like last week, I brought on two amazing channels as well. Two friends as well. Firstly, another partner channel of mine, Walt from Mouse Talk. Good to have you in, buddy.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Dan. Last week was a lot of fun. I'm glad we were able to finish it up this week.
Finishing up this week. We're excited. And Steve from Steve's World. What's up, pal? The absolute live stream guy right now.
I don't know about that. I have been doing quite a few lately, though. But no, thanks for having us, Dan. I love being on the show with you guys, and I'm glad we were able to continue what we started last week.
Awesome. Right, we're going to continue the World Showcase, but first, before we actually get started, we are going to see who we have in the chat. We have Miguel Benitez Jr. What's up, pal? RobFuz, my other partner channel. Good to see you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, Angela from Pirate Princess Red. Noah, welcome in, Noah. Amanda from the Lucky Minute. Little Oz Laurel, welcome into the stream from Australia. Nicole C. Jen from Our Theme Life. And Mike from Our Theme Life. Dana Jaworski, my supermod, our friend Dana Jaworski, welcome into the stream. Kate Atwood, D from A Disney Life for Me, Lorena Zapata, welcome into the stream. Gelly's Journey, Captain Okron, Disney Circus Girl. Wow, everybody is here today. It's going to be so much fun. Now, there is another small channel live right now out there called Resort TV 1 from Galaxy's Edge.
I don't know who they are.
We know who they are, but after the stream, actually after Sports Night, straight after this, head over to Resort TV 1, Josh and Jenna, and say hi from us. And that also gives a segue straight after stream, Sports Night with Walt and Steve. We were going to talk about how Tottenham should have won the Champions League today, but we're not going to because Liverpool won it. But there you go. What is your topic tonight, guys?
Oh, we got a good one tonight. We got two special guests ourselves, and we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame in all four major sports, and we're going to really cause some trouble tonight. We're going to talk about people that should be in there that aren't, and people that are in that shouldn't be.
Clarifying four major sports in America, right?
Yes, in America.
Okay. All right, because if it was four major sports, I would have said soccer or football would have been up.
Yes, you're right.
AJC Magic TV, welcome into the stream. Jennifer Ever After, Pamela Hoffman, welcome in. Dougie from Watergrams, hey buddy. And Brett. Hello, Daniel. Hello, David from Brandy and Dave. What's up, pal? Great to see you. Welcome in, everybody. So last week, we talked about the World Showcase. We actually took our trip from Canada to the United States. It doesn't sound too far, but we actually went to Canada. Then we went all the way around the World Showcase, stopping in my hometown, the UK country, and just had a great time. So we needed to put it into two shows. It was too much to do in one show. So we were like, right, we're going to put it into two shows. And we are going to start off at Italy. So we're going to start off in Italy today. Kelly from the Mickey Bunch, welcome into the stream. And Sherry from Awesome Sunset Travels, welcome in as well. So we're going to talk about Italy today, Germany. We're going to talk about the African outpost, China, Norway, Mexico, and we may throw in Illuminations right at the end, as Illuminations is going to be giving a fond farewell at the end of the year. Perfectly, Cat, welcome into the stream. Now, here we go, guys. Italy. Now, if you guys didn't watch last week, you would know that my favorite pavilions are Japan, Morocco, and Italy. I love the Italian pavilion. I just love Italy as a country. I love going there. The food, man, it's just Italian food is like the most heartwarming. It's just everything about it is just so good. You got pasta, pizza, like cured meats. You have like ravioli, gelato, like just so much great stuff. And the history of Italy is like my thing. I love learning about the ancient world. I love learning about Rome and its history. You got bits of Venice in the pavilion. You have Rome architecture. You have a bit of Florence architecture in there. You got a beautiful Neptune fountain there. It's not Poseidon, it's Neptune. That's me being all classicist right there. It's just a really stunning pavilion. It's very open, and it has some amazing restaurants. But I'm going to go round the clock and go round the table and just say what comes to mind when you go to the Italy pavilion. What really strikes you about the Italian pavilion? We're going to start off with ladies first. Megan, what does the Italian pavilion do for you?
Actually, it's one most of the time that I just sort of walk through. We'll stroll around. For me, I have never eaten at Via Napoli, so don't.
Oh, blasphemy!
I know, but for me, it might not make sense to eat there, mostly because I can't eat any dairy. So it's hard for me to eat Italian food because it has so much cheese, so much dairy in it. But I know I could obviously get a pizza without cheese. So one day I would like to try and do that. Oh my God, Meg, no. But so one day I'll definitely have to do it. I also think it's kind of pricey for what it is, but I do like the architecture there. I've gotten my photo pass, like pictures taken around just like the architecture. And I do like the little show that they have with the performer. And then, I mean, I just sort of like walking around. It's really similar to Italy, like what it is in real life or in the country of Italy. It's just very authentic, and that's one really nice thing about Epcot. They do a really good job like making everything really authentic and the authenticity of all the countries and the pavilions. But yeah, you guys, I knew that you were going to hate me on that one. So
if there was any pavilion to start off with, maybe it was the wrong one for Meg. But we will teach you the ways of Via Napoli. Walt, we're coming to you next. What do you think of the Italian pavilion?
Well, I think in a lot of ways I agree with Meg. It used to be one of my favorite pavilions, but the more I see it, I've grown less and less attached to it. I love the architecture. I agree. It's authentic is probably a great word to use when it comes to, what it looks like. The architecture is beautiful. Great photo pass options there as well that you can take out overlooking the water or looking into the pavilion. The food is what really drives this pavilion, in my opinion. And Via Napoli is incredible. I've had lunch there. I've had dinner there twice. Absolutely love the food. The brick oven pizza that they have there coming out of the stone mouths of, I guess they're supposed to be gods or Zeus or whatever they're supposed to be, is amazing. It's just fantastic. I love that pavilion. The one thing I love, Sergio, Meg was mentioning him. He's a lot of fun with the whistle. I don't like the whistling all the time, but I do like his show. He's a lot of fun, high energy. But the one downfall for me in that pavilion is hands down the stores. It's all perfume or crisp. There's no, I don't even know how to word it. That's the only thing about it that I guess is the downfall for me. But the food really drives this pavilion and the architecture.
Very quickly, just want to say a big hello to Patrick from Zippity Doodad and Haley from Corey Fiasco's channel. Welcome in, Haley, and I hope you are having a lot of fun. And hopefully Corey had a great time over at a certain thing that happened this week. So that we're all jealous about. But welcome in, Haley. Great to see you. Steve, what about you, my friend?
I'm with you, buddy. Dan, this is one of my favorite pavilions. And one of the main reasons is strictly because of the food. The food to me is incredible. I love Italian food. I took the advice of Corey Fiasco about going to Via Napoli. And I went there. He did not let me down one bit. Actually, I'm having dinner with Corey and Haley at Via Napoli later in August. So it's just such a great restaurant. The oven, just walking around and seeing the atmosphere is incredible. Those 3 brick ovens are incredible. I mean, they're just phenomenal. And that pizza, when it comes out, I know it's pizza, but it's different pizza. I mean, it's not the same pizza. It's so good. The garlic focaccia bread is incredible. Just that whole food experience. And on top of that, it's a very romantic pavilion too. And I know Walt doesn't like the shops, but it has, I don't want shops that are the same across all the other countries. And this one to me has a little bit different. They have, they sell Italian chocolates. They sell the crystals and the jewelry, the glassware and the figures. And then they have different, one of them sells a bunch of cookbooks from different parts of Rome and just different things. So to me, I love all that stuff. Plus this pavilion reminds me of one of the games on Call of Duty one of the maps on Call of Duty that we play. So it looks really, really good. So it's a beautiful pavilion. I like it a lot.
One of my favorite shops, which is actually a very little part of the shop, is where they sell these very old Phoenician masks, which I think is very unique, like something very different that you wouldn't find anywhere else. And these are handcrafted Venetian masks with the long noses and beautiful designs. Yeah, they're fantastic to watch. But I think we're all right. I think, look, they have Via Napoli, Tutto Gusto wine cellar, Tutto Italia, and Galati, all 4 places where you can get some amazing food. And this pizza, I'm going to say it right now, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. This is the best pizza I have had in the United States.
Because it is the best pizza I've ever had.
Because here's the thing, right? I can't compare it to true Italian pizza, because going to somewhere like Rome or Naples or somewhere where I've had pizza from there, you can't even beat it. It's unreal. But Italian pizza via Napoli is not like New York pizza or Chicago pizza or Vermont pizza. I don't know. It's actually, they use special imported water to create the dough to make it as authentic as it can be from Italy. They use such really fresh Italian ingredients, and again they put it in those brickstone ovens that look like some sort of god or mythical creature. And these pizzas, they're massive. These are like, I don't know, 20-inch, 24-inch pizzas. They are massive. Lauren King, welcome into the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. But I think we're right. I think in terms of the Italian pavilion, you go for the food, and there's nothing better than great hearty Italian cooking, in my opinion. And I just love it there. I think it's very nostalgic. It's very pretty, but again, it's kind of like we were saying last week. France is slowly moving up people's order. Or maybe Italy's falling down people's order because because France is introducing like the Ratatouille attraction, and they got amazing ice cream there, and the macaroons, and the pain au chocolat, and many food items. And Italy may be slightly dipping. So who knows? Italy is one of my favorite pavilions. Some people have never tried Via Napoli in the chat, but I think people need to try Via Napoli at least.
But Via Napoli isn't just about the pizza either. I've had some of the other dishes. The other dishes are really, really good too. They have one that's similar. It's not called a lasagna, and I forgot what it's called, but they have something that's similar to a lasagna that I've had in there that was absolutely fantastic. It's not just about the pizza. If you like Italian food, it's authentic. And it's really good.
And I want to remind people, this is not like Italian food from like Olive Garden or something like that. This is really yeah, but I think there's a difference between American-styled Italian food and traditional Italian food, because there is a big, big difference. But I love them both. I love New York style pizza as well as proper pizza. Proper pizza. I'm sorry for all you New Yorkers out there. I love you guys. But yeah, I would say Italy is one of my favorite pavilions. Maybe not many people's favorites, but certainly one of mine. Right. We are heading to another place in Europe, a place which actually for me is not so high on my list. We are heading over to Germany. Now, Germany is quite an interesting pavilion. Again, it's got this very European feel. It's got the small trains that are to the right of the pavilion, which is all very beautiful looking. They have the beer garden and Sommerfest. And for me, Germany, there's not much there. There really isn't. There's the Snow White meet and greet, but there isn't. For me, it's always been like Meg was saying earlier. It's like for me, it's one that I normally miss. It's sad to say. I think we may have Meg dropped out. Maybe she can rejoin the stream.
She really doesn't like being Napoli.
She doesn't like being Napoli. I'm sure Meg will join us again. But again, Germany was never really my favorite pavilion. It's very low on my list. I've always felt the food was very, I don't know, like what's it? The beer garden is very like sausages and like mashed potatoes and like pickled onions. It's very I don't know. I just never really enjoyed. Just I like you have Italy on one side and then another pavilion which we'll get to on the other, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to save myself for other places. So that's my opinion on the Germany pavilion, but we'll get into more details. Hopefully Meg is back. What is your views on the German pavilion?
First of all, I have literally no idea what just happened.
Ghost Meg has returned.
And I was like, I can't get back into the stream. I couldn't even watch on YouTube, so I don't know what happened.
The Via Napoli gods weren't happy. Nope.
Also, going back to the pizza.
Oh gosh, here we go.
Florida pizza is not good, Miguel. Anyone from New England knows that pizza up here is so much better. We have such nice thin crust pizza, and specifically since I'm from Connecticut, New Haven pizza. If anyone's ever heard of Frank Pepe's Pizza, or Sally's, any of those famous restaurants that have the brick oven thin crust pizzas. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Oh, it's fine. Look, I like New York style thin crust pizza, but there is such a difference. It's like comparing Chicago to New York, comparing American to Italian pizza. It's like you can't really compare them because they're completely different. So,
but anyway, going back to Germany. I really love to meet Snow White in Germany. That's probably my favorite thing to do. I know that they have those giant. Miguel says Northeasterners are so snobbish with their pizza. No one's ever heard of Connecticut, period. Get out of here, Miguel.
Oh, Miguel, those are fighting words, Miguel.
I feel like
Miguel hates Hercules, everyone.
I feel like I'm gonna have to send a link to Miguel in a minute for him to jump in.
Miguel is just so done. Oh, okay. So
it's because school's finished. He can let loose and he can go full out.
Not Professor Miguel anymore. Okay, but I love to meet Snow White, and then I know that they have the ginormous pretzels. I've never had one of the pretzels in Germany, but we had the same one when we went to Top of the World Lounge with Corey and Haley and my mom. And it was the best thing ever. So any soft pretzel, I'm all about soft pretzels and Snow White. So yeah.
I mean that just sums up Germany Pavilion right there. Pretzels, you need your nutrition, your carbohydrate to get you through the day, and you get a carrot to meat. There you go. And if you like alcohol, you can have a big pint of beer, and there you go. Walt, what about you, my friend?
Well, I can't believe nobody's mentioned the caramel couche yet. That store is unbelievable in the Germany Pavilion. I can smell the caramel and the popcorn 2 pavilions away.
Wow.
And it just entices me in. I absolutely love that store. The pavilion overall is okay. I don't mind it. We like going in there. We haven't eaten at Beer Garden yet. I think I'd like to try it for the experience. But I love the caramel stop right there. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
All the different things you can get in there, the chocolate, the caramel, the popcorn. It's just an awesome place to go. And it connects right over into their Christmas store, which is right there as well. They have a really cute Christmas store in there that I really like at the Germany Pavilion. It's again, it's not a ton to it, but I like the pavilion. It's not one of my favorites, but I do like it. I wish I had seen more of it. They also have a place there. I think it's the Germany Pavilion, right outside, one little stand where you can get custom-made glasses. And you can get like your name put on it, or you can put a Disney character on it. And I've actually got a couple of them. I think that's the Germany Pavilion. It's not inside the pavilion. It's right on the outside, and I like that too. But it's not a bad pavilion.
I would definitely agree with you. I would absolutely say that. Oh gosh, here comes Charlie. Charlie from the Disney Nerd Herders. Okay. If you don't know what happened, basically there was the Football Champions League final tonight with my team, Tottenham Hotspur, and Liverpool. And Liverpool won. And Charlie's a big Liverpool fan. So, okay, that's all I'm going to talk about. But what I would agree with Walt is actually the Germany Pavilion actually has great shops. I would really agree on that. I think the Christmas shop is the second best Christmas shop after the one in Magic Kingdom.
Amen.
And they have an amazing pickle tree, because you know my history with pickles. Which myself and Arjon's just laughed about when I saw him last year. It was great fun. But I do agree with you. I think the caramel couche shop is fantastic. The smell is very, very sweet. Yeah, it is really nice. I do really like it there, but I feel like it's quite, if you don't really know about it, you might miss it. And yeah, because there's not really that much in Germany. So I feel like that kind of, all those shops kind of go a little bit unmissed. Steve, what do you think, my friend?
So Germany's my second favorite pavilion, okay. Mainly because I studied German for 8 years. So okay. I want, Germany is my one country that my bucket list country to visit before, you know, if I have anywhere to go in the world, it would be Germany. But so the architecture in Germany is phenomenal, and everything goes well. It even has the statue of St. George slaying the dragon in there. But one thing I do not like is I don't care too much for German food, which is a bad thing. But they do have Oktoberfest. They do have all the different heavy beers that you can drink. The one thing I don't like is that Germans are very friendly drinkers, and everything is all this community table. You eat with people you don't know, and on one big table. So I don't care too much for that. But they do have some really good things, and the shopping there, like everybody was saying, is really good. The Caramella Kuchen it means caramel cake, and it is incredible. It's Werther's caramel. They have apples and things in there. They have Der Teddy Bar, which is a toy store. They have the Das Kaufhaus, which is soccer. They have the Volkskunst, which is where you can buy hats and cowbells, and Black Forest. I love Black Forest cuckoo clocks, and that's one of the things I really want.
Nice, yeah.
Yes.
And then they have the beer steins, and they play all the different. They have the one in there that plays the music and everything. It's just really great. And then the Die Weihnachtsecke is the German, or is the Christmas corner. I agree with you, is probably the second best Christmas store. And it's just it's got some of the best shopping, in my opinion, and some of the best architecture.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a very good looking pavilion. I think Oktoberfest for me is one restaurant that I would definitely miss, just because, yeah, again, firstly, you know, you are sitting with, you know, people who you don't even know, and what might be a little bit awkward is if you're sitting with people and they don't even speak English, so that kind of is a bit awkward. And I'm not taking any offense to German music, but hearing those like guys play for about an hour and a half while you eat might drive me a little bit crazy. I might be impressed for the first maybe like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, eat fast.
But you want me to eat fast out of all people? But I think maybe after an hour, I think I'll just be like, it might just be a little too much for me. But
it's loud.
Yeah. So, and I'm kind of that person who likes to talk, during meals and have nice conversations. But I don't mind shows during dinner, but where it's very similar kind of sound and it just puts me off a little bit. So yeah, that's my take on it. It's not really one of those restaurants I would rush to get to book on my 180 day date to book a restaurant. So but yeah, it's fine. Germany is a fine pavilion, not my favorite, but it's enjoyable. I think there are good aspects of it, and you get to meet Snow White. So there you go. Right. Okay. Now the next one is very interesting. When we talk about country, I just dropped my bottle of water, but it's fine. It was closed. When we talk about countries in World Showcase, it's kind of weird when we're going to be talking about a continent next. Saying Africa is a country in World Showcase just sounds wrong to me, because there are so many different countries in Africa and they're all very different to each other. And no one better to talk about Africa is the person who just came back from Africa. And I'm very intrigued to hear what you have to say, Meg, in just a minute. But I think there are only a few things in Disney which I say this could have been done better. And one of them is the Africa Pavilion, because there is such a missed opportunity. There should be so much more than just a couple of huts with, African antiques and African carved animals. And granted, it's beautiful. I think that I love that kind of culture, but there should be, I feel like this should be so much more. Africa is not present at all in the World Showcase, apart from Morocco. But you could argue saying that is more Middle Eastern than it is African. There really isn't. You could have South Africa, you could have Malawi, you can have all these amazing countries. And I'm just confused why this African outpost is not treated as much as the other countries. Yes, the countries, support the pavilions, and Africa, maybe a certain country could not support being in World Showcase. But I just don't feel that it's fair that this is what is the Africa Pavilion, and it's just not. There's something about it I just don't like, and they really need to, give it a big upgrade, in my opinion. But I want to come to Megan, because out of everybody here, you've experienced Africa firsthand. You went on the safari. You've been to, you've seen the culture firsthand. And I'm just curious, what would you change about the African Pavilion? What is some similarities? I'm just very intrigued what you have to say about this.
So I don't even consider that a pavilion. It's just a couple outside shops and some drums. And if we're going to talk about Africa and representing Africa in the parks, it's 100% in Animal Kingdom. It's not really even represented in Epcot, in the World Showcase. It's just, like you said, it's weird that everywhere else is a country and this is the continent. But for me, they just have like some beads, some jewelry. Where I went to Tanzania. So as Dan said, there are so many different countries in Africa. They're all so different. The main tribe in Tanzania and in Kenya is called the Maasai tribe, which, if you think about Maasai giraffes, that is the tribe that is in Tanzania and Kenya. And they do a lot of beadwork and jewelry. So that was actually much more represented in Animal Kingdom. And when we went just in May, we saw a new little table where, they have the people come and they do their own craft of like the carving or the beading. So she was doing the beading and she was making jewelry. And so I felt like that was much more representative of Africa. But like I said, it's not represented in Epcot. I don't consider that a pavilion. It's just like 2 outside like little stations where also male lions kill each other all the time. No big deal, right? Whole plot of Lion King. It's totally okay. It's normal. But yeah, that's my my thought about Africa.
Yeah, it is very interesting, like how you say it's not a pavilion, and you're right. I do agree. And I just feel it's such a missed opportunity, and you experience that culture firsthand. You really just said, this is what needs to be kind of represented in Epcot, and not just Africa as a continent. You need to be specific. I would love to see I'd love to see something like a South Africa be represented, or maybe I think Malawi is a really underrated country, something like that. Kenya, I don't know. It is kind of like, yes, we have Africa in Disney's Animal Kingdom, but that's a representation of the continent and not a country. So it's interesting. I will come back to a question in a minute. Now, I'm going to come to Walt. I want to kind of get your opinions on what kind of thing would you like to see in Africa? Like, what is your, what would you like to see going there?
Well, I'm kind of confused by it because I don't know what it is they do or don't want to do in that area, because it's listed as an African outpost, not necessarily a pavilion. So I agree with Meg. I think there's so much more they could do with it. They don't represent. I mean, I understand Morocco is in Africa, and maybe that's supposed to be the representation, but it's such a gigantic continent that there are other countries that they could use, that maybe have a little bit of a different culture than what you see in Morocco, that they could put there and make it a legitimate pavilion. Overall, I mean, I hate to say it, we just passed by it. And I think it's an area that could be used more and better, and they just don't do anything with it. I mean, there's a little place there where you can get something to drink, I think. I don't even think, is there an actual quick service place there to eat?
It's called the Outpost.
Right. But there's like, no, I mean, you can get drinks there because I've gotten them, and there's a couple little different things. They got the thing where you can bang on the drums, which drives me insane. I'm like, stop doing that. No, I'm just kidding. But it's fun for the kids. The kids love it. They love it. But I just wish they would use that area a little bit better and make it a pavilion that's representative of the continent, but take another country from Africa and really, we talked about this on the last show when we talked about the American Pavilion. This is another area where they just have not represented it very well. And I think it was just a filler, personally. I hate to say that, but it feels like it's just a filler of space.
I just want to say a big welcome to Jeff from Dole Whip Dad, as well as the Shep family and Greg's Disney Adventures. Welcome in, guys. Great to see you, and thank you so much for stopping by. Yeah, I totally agree, Walt. Again, it's kind of like that missed opportunity. Steve, I want to ask you, what country would you want to, have be put there? There are going to be more countries added to World Showcase. So do you think they'll add an Africa Pavilion, or sadly, will they replace it with something that's not in Africa?
Well, I mean, honestly, the only country that I could see them really doing, I'd say the front runner for an African country would be, to agree with Jeff, and that's Egypt, just because of the rich history they have and that. But I was reading somewhere, though, that when they built these pavilions, these countries incur some of the costs of these pavilions. It's not just Disney building these pavilions.
Nice.
So because of the fact that Africa is made up of a lot of poor nations, not one nation was able to front the cost for this money for the pavilion
as a sponsorship.
Yeah. So what they did was they went with this multinational thing, which is the reason why it's like this. But even at that, they still only got 3 countries to sign on to that. So this to kind of dedicate something to it, they went with this outpost, which I do think is a really horrible representation of Africa. But that would be like saying the North American Pavilion, which Mexico, United States, and Canada are completely opposite of each other. And they have, the same thing is true inside Africa. Their countries are completely different within each other. They have different cultures and different landmarks and everything else. So it's a shame that a country can't front the sponsorship for that pavilion, but but I do think it needs to be centralized and focused on one thing. I personally would rather see anything else besides the outpost there. Even if it's not a country from Africa, you got Spain, Israel, Brazil, all these countries that deserve, in my opinion, Greece deserve a pavilion somewhere in there. And that is that is the only thing between China and Germany. And it's such a long area. You could put 2 or 3 pavilions in between there on top, counting the African outpost. But
is it that big of an area?
Well, there's nothing between Germany and the outpost at all. And then you got the outpost itself.
And there's not a lot behind it either. Well, there's not a lot behind it either.
Right,
so, yeah, you got room behind it too.
Isn't that the bridge that brings out illuminations? Or am I wrong?
The bridge is there, but it's behind the African outpost. There's a lot of just there's a lot of space, and there's a backstage area.
You also have to think about, though, like how much room there is in each pavilion, because you could probably fit 1 over there, but definitely not 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think you could get one between Germany and the outpost. And then if you take a pavilion like Italy is smaller in width than the outpost is. Yeah. So as long as you could go all the way back, you could still put another one right on top of it. But the only thing I go to the African outpost for is when I'm looking for my hidden Remy or my Easter egg for my little map. That's honestly, I don't stop for any other reason.
That's it. Yeah. So it's a shame, but we're going to go from something very small to something extremely big, which Steve kind of cheated and told us all where we're going to go next.
Nice going, Steve.
We are heading to China. Now, for me, I think China certainly is one of the most beautiful looking pavilions, just in terms of scale and color. I think the one thing I really can say about China's pavilion is color and red. And if there's any country that really symbolizes their flag, it's China, because they think the color red is symbolic and very important to their culture, and everything in China is red. It's just beautiful. It really is, and this is also one of the biggest pavilions as well. So again, for me, it's kind of like Japan. Weirdly, it's a lot like Japan. It's very, in terms of, quite open. There's no real it's not very claustrophobic and lots of little side things like Morocco. It's very open. I think the pond, the river, the kind of like the I can't even describe it. It's just like a beautiful pond with beautiful fish, with flowers and bridges. The red bridge over by the Mulan meet and greet is one of my favorite places to go in the World Showcase. It's calm, it's quiet, it's beautiful. You have the Temple of Heaven, which is almost a replica of the one in Shanghai or Beijing. And if you stand right in the middle of the Temple of Heaven and look up and you speak, the acoustics are perfect. Like, it is incredible. And the inside is just grand and colorful, and it's one of the best kind of, if you're a big photographer or picture person, definitely go to the Temple of Heaven. You have the Nine Dragons restaurant. You have the Lotus Blossom Cafe, which I give a thumbs up to if you want a great quick service, as well as the Joy of Tea, which has really, ironically, I prefer Chinese tea over British tea. Don't ask me why.
Wow.
I'm not a big tea fan. I know it's kind of like, this is blasphemy for British people.
Is. Wow.
But I love the Chinese tea. It's just
ironically
amazing.
I prefer Chinese tea over British.
Someone's repeating me.
We got to hear it again.
Gosh, do I really sound like that? Is that my voice? Emperor's New Groove reference right there. But I think the Chinese pavilion is, again, it's just stunning. And the I can't remember what the warriors are called, the little stone warriors.
Terracotta
warriors.
They're not there anymore.
They're not there anymore? Gosh, it must have been a while since I was there.
Yeah.
And they have the Reflections of China film, which, if you want good air conditioning and a great film to watch, there you go. So China, I want to hear it. So Meg, what do you think of the Chinese pavilion?
Oh gosh. So I'm not a fan of the 360 circle vision movies. They make me really nauseous because I get really motion sick during that. Because I'm standing stationary, but the video's moving like crazy. Yeah. So I can't do those. So that's a no-go for me. Like you said, aesthetically, it's really beautiful. I love all the red. Probably one of the only things that we like to do there is either watch the show of the acrobats or meet Mulan. And we do like to go through the store. It's a nice store, but definitely not a fan of the Circle Vision movie. I can't do those. I don't like the one in Canada either. But I mean, I'm a really big fan of like Asian food. So anything that they have there that I can eat. I know like during Flower and Garden, they just had like a nice spring roll or they had a spring roll that was vegan. And yes, Haley, I have done the one in France. And because it's like this is off topic, but because it's not like the screen's not going all around me, it doesn't make me as nauseous, but it still makes me sort of motion sick.
Because you have to like look around and kind of see everything really around you on all the screens.
It's just like the movement of the camera for me. So when the camera's like going up and down and I can't watch, I like literally close my eyes and I like sit on the floor because I can't do this. Well, like you said, it has some nice air conditioning, but I don't know. I definitely prefer British tea over, I don't know, the tea in China, but I do like green tea. So
green tea is lovely. I love green tea. And I love the fact you brought up the Mulan meet and greet, because Mulan's one of my favorite meet and greets in the whole of Walt Disney World, because she is so unappreciated in the parks and everywhere. And I think I've always had a great time meeting Mulan. And also the acrobats are just amazing. They perform right in front of you, right in front of your face, and they're just kind of like street performers. And we talked about this last week about how amazing all these street performers are. So it's not just what you can see in terms of buildings and the amazing food, but also the interactions. Welcome to John P. Hazelton and the Tactical Traveler. Welcome into the stream, guys. Great to see you. Walt, what about you? What about the China Pavilion for you?
I like it. I really like it. It's very beautiful. I think it's a very beautiful. I love the inside of the actual main part of the pavilion. The Jeweled Dragon acrobats, I think they're called, are fantastic. They do really good shows. The store itself, which I think is called the House of Good Fortune, is a really good-sized store that has a lot of fun stuff in there. I really wish they still had the Terracotta Army there. I mean, they dated back to 210 BC, which is really neat. And but they're not there anymore. I don't know why they took them away. But we have eaten there. We've eaten at Nine Dragons, if you can believe that. I actually ate there. I didn't mind it, but it's not great. I can't say it was great. Even Melissa, who loves Chinese food, was not a fan of it. She doesn't want to go back, which is saying something. But Mulan, the meet and greet, is fantastic. Overall, it's a good pavilion. But I gotta admit, Meg, you got one up on me. We haven't seen Reflections of China.
Must be for next trip. Veronica Veronica Jude, welcome into the stream, and she says they've expanded the upper garden and it's beautiful with a lot of outside seating.
Yeah, it's very beautiful there.
Can you get any more perfect than that? Steve, what about you, my friend?
It's extremely beautiful. It's one of the more pleasing countries to visit. The Jeweled Dragon acrobats is probably for me my favorite not attraction, but my favorite show around the country, around the showcase. Those kids are incredible with what they can do, and it's just great. The building that houses the Circle Vision movie, Reflections of China, is stunningly beautiful. And I love those movies. I love Canada's movie. But they do make you extremely dizzy. They put 2 rails down because you're going to have to hold on. So it makes you just feel you get dizzy. You really do. I wish they could do something with spinning chairs so that you could sit in your chair and spin whichever direction you wanted to look at the movie, because they are gorgeous movies. They're incredible scenes. And unfortunately, it is very dizzying when you're stationary, holding on to 2 rails, and everything around you, because it's round like your eye, makes you feel like you're moving, and it's a uneasy feeling. But then the House of Good Fortune is one of the best shops they have. It's massive. It just goes on forever. They could have divided that into several different shops, but I like that it's open. It has a lot of the old jade carvings and some of the silk clothing, the mother of pearl furniture. I mean, it's just got some beautiful, beautiful merchandise. And then they got that bowl that I like to go play with, where you can make noise in the bowl. So, but yeah, it's a great pavilion.
Here's breaking news: Reflections of China is more dizzy than Mission Space. There you go.
I would say that's true.
That's kind of weird, because I always get dizzy on Mission Space. As we are coming to the end, we have 2 more pavilions, which I wanted to save for last, because not only are they the last 2 that we're going to be talking about, but they are 2, I think, wonderful pavilions. First up, we are in Norway. I love the fact that they introduced Norway, because it's, before they brought it into the World Showcase, I think, when you think of countries, standout countries of the world, I feel like Norway is very unappreciated. And it's only really the last 5 years where, boom, it's skyrocketed by a little movie, after a fly gets in my face, called Frozen. Right. Whether you love Frozen or you hate Frozen, you can't deny what it's done to this pavilion, whether you like it or hate it. Frozen increased Norway's tourism by like 35%. Just this movie increased the tourism of Norway by 35%. And I'm not talking about the country in World Showcase. I'm talking about the actual country, because this was a phenomenal film, regardless. And they wanted to go to places where, where this country came from. And I think, look, I'm a Frozen fan. I really do like the movie. It's not one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, but I really do enjoy it. But Frozen Ever After is wonderful. I think they have one of the best animatronic figures I think I've ever seen. I was blown away when I saw these animatronic figures for the first time. And Maelstrom I enjoyed, but I never fell in love with it. It was never really right. We're going to Epcot today. I'm riding Maelstrom. I never had that urge to go ride Maelstrom. But now Frozen has always been that ride. Like, right, I've got to make sure I've got to go at least once or even twice during the trip. You have the Akershus Royal Banquet, where you'll be dining with the princesses, which is a buffet with Norwegian as well as some friendly food as well. And then you also have the Kringler Bakery, where you can get Kringler, which is like a coconut topped iced cream filled pastry, something like that. It looks delicious. Might have to try it maybe for Disney Food Friday one day. But for me, I think Norway it went from a very low pavilion to one of my favorites. Johns, welcome in, buddy. You missed it. We talked about Germany and the pickle tree, buddy. Come on. Right, I'm going to come to Meg. What are your views on the Norway pavilion?
Oh, I love like everything about the Norway pavilion. I think, I don't know, I feel like your view about the Maelstrom is a little bit different than most other people's, because for me, that was like my favorite ride in Epcot. Right. Like, I would only want to go because it was a boat ride and you got to go backwards, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. But either way, I liked the Maelstrom. I liked Frozen Ever After. Like you said, the animatronics are really incredible. I love that you can meet Anna and Elsa. I love going into their summer house. If I could eat with all the princesses there, I would love to, but it's really expensive. So maybe one day I'll do it, like on my bucket list of Disney things I want to do. And then I have to talk about the store too, because I absolutely love, my mom and I are obsessed with the perfume in there. And if you get, like we bought the Norway candle. We've gotten like a couple of them from the Magic Candle Company. It smells just like that perfume. And we burn that candle all the time because it just smells so good. And then also for pin trading, I always get good pin trades in that store. And so it's always fun for us to just walk through, talk to the cast members. And I always get good pin trades there. So it's always fun for us to walk through the store. It's a must do for us. Going on Frozen Ever After is a must do. I love everything about the Norway Pavilion.
Clearly I'm doing pin trading wrong because I've never traded there.
You need to go in there.
Yeah, no, I think I'm not a perfume person, but the smell that you get, the aroma that you get coming out of that area of the store is just, it's amazing. I think it really does show the authenticity of what Norway brings to, you know, that industry. I think what the store is really nice. I like how it's laid out. I love the fact they put the troll from the Maelstrom ride in the store. I think that's great. I wish they did that in like every single store at Disney. I wish they had like a dream finder animatronic at the end of Journey into Imagination. That'd be great. So yeah, you know, I really like the store. I like just I just love it all. Like you said, I think it's really just a nice, quite a calming pavilion, actually, considering you have a really long wait time for the Frozen Ever After ride attraction. But yeah, I love it. I love what you said about the Norway Pavilion. Walt, what do you think, buddy?
Well, this pavilion is really kind of an upsetting pavilion for me. Because I really love the Maelstrom. It was one of my favorite rides. Now, don't get me wrong, I get it. Before Frozen, the Norway Pavilion was kind of a fixer-upper. It was, you know, I get it. Nobody got that joke? Come on.
I got it.
Thank you.
I love the fact Meg just got it.
No, I had it on.
It was a bit of a fixer-upper. I get it. But no, I really love this pavilion. Is a really nice pavilion. I love the fact that they put the troll in there. The stores are really cool. I'm with Meg. One of our bucket list places is to do Akershus to breakfast. I would really want to do breakfast there with the princesses. I think that I've heard rave reviews about it. Not only the food, but the experience with the princesses as well. Frozen Ever After, I'm not a big Frozen fan. Everybody knows that. The ride is really cool. Don't get me wrong. The animatronics are really cool. The ride is cool. I just have a special place. You know me. I'm nostalgic. I like the old stuff. I love the Maelstrom. But this is a really underrated pavilion. They have also the area there with Loki, and they talk about Thor and Odin and the Vikings and stuff like that over to the left, I think it is, or part of that.
Yeah, it's inside the Viking temple. There's like a whole exhibit on Norse mythology, which is amazing. I think
they have that as well. It's a really underrated pavilion, in my opinion. I don't, of course, they have the Anna and Elsa, the village house there where you can meet them, which really helps that pavilion as well. It's a great pavilion. I think it's awesome.
And you can meet Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston there as well. And Sherry brings up a great point. She says, she's talking about the Akershus Princess restaurant, which for dining with the princess, 1 table credit is an awesome deal. Check out Akershus, because you're going to have the exact same experience with those princesses as Cinderella's royal table, which is 2 credits.
But that's because you're eating in the castle.
So that's the main. So if you are so thing about like eating inside the castle, I guess it's worth it. But if you're there just for princesses, go to Akershus, because you're going to get the same pavilion and it's cheaper. So, Steve, Norway for you. What's Norway's
I agree with Meg. I pretty much love everything about Norway. It's a great country. I love all the little Norwegian trolls. The Gods of the Vikings gallery exhibit it pays the homage to all the Vikings, and I don't necessarily have a problem with Maelstrom being gone and replaced. First off, whether you like it or not, Frozen's one of the most successful movies in history of Disney. So they took the exact same ride, and all they did was change the decorations, pretty much, and add the music. So it's still the same ride for all those people. Now, in my opinion, outside of a nostalgia factor, nobody in their right mind would want to see some really old Vikings over a Frozen character. So I'm happy what they did. I think it was intelligent on their part. Maybe Frozen's been pounded in people's heads so much that they're just over it. But I think it's an incredible ride. I think it was something they needed. And of course, I want to eat it at the Akershus as well, but I'm not a fan of Norwegian food generally. So I think I'm going to, like Walt, I want to do the breakfast there as well. Yeah. The whole pavilion is great. And then you get to see, you can buy all the Frozen merchandise there if you really want to, as well as the Puffin's Roost has, of all the perfumes around the showcase, it's the one I can stand to go into and be okay in. So.
Love it.
I can't breathe. I know. I get in there. I'm like, I can't breathe.
Love it. Just Maelstrom. For me, I just didn't get it. You kind of like It
was perfect for Norway, though. It was the exact. It's what
it was weird. You met like trolls.
Absolutely,
trolls and Odin, and then the
totally was themed for that.
The troll says back over the falls, which I think is great, and your actual boat sticks out of the pavilion, which I think is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But then you end up in like an oil rig like town. I just didn't quite get that bit. It was a bit like you're just showing us industrial oil like technology. I didn't get it. I didn't hate Maelstrom. I didn't mind it going, but again, there are those people who really really enjoy Maelstrom, and like you said, well, it's all nostalgia, and completely respect that. I did enjoy the attraction, but for me, speaking as somebody who maybe would take a child to Disney, you know, if there was like a choice between going on Maelstrom or going on to Frozen, I think it just needed that kind of boost, that fixer-upper that you half jokingly said. So we finally made it, guys. We finally made it, the last pavilion, which over the years, when I first went to Disney, I was like, okay, this is a cool pavilion. But now, this is an awesome pavilion. I truly love this pavilion. And actually, this made me fall in love with Mexican culture, because I love the Mexico pavilion. Every single person here in the chat, I guarantee, has always said, I want to climb those steps outside of the Mexican pavilion. I want to go to the top of that temple and see what the World Showcase looks like from up there. But I digress. You can't actually go up there for obvious safety reasons. But I love that the fact this whole pavilion is inside. Now, granted, we are in Florida. It's sunny. We want to get our tans going. But I love that this whole pavilion, the whole atmosphere is set up like a Mexican nighttime festival, essentially. You have the market stalls right in the middle. You have La Cava, where you can get some tequila. You have the San Angel Inn restaurant, which overlooks the Grand Fiesta Tour attraction. You have the Grand Fiesta Tour attraction itself, which I feel is one of the most criminally underrated attractions in the whole of Walt Disney World. It's like Small World 2.0. You have the restaurants outside, and it just is, in terms of nostalgia and getting into that Mexican vibe, that's it right there. Like, I want to be wearing a sombrero. I want to be having tacos, probably not having pickles on them because the Mexicans might kill me for putting pickles on tacos. But I just think, and you know what? I've loved this pavilion even more as a YouTuber because I think we just love seeing those live streams where everyone goes on Grand Fiesta Tour and really goes to the Mexican pavilion, and we just have a great time going there. And again, it just is phenomenal. I love the mariachi band that's outside. I love the fact they brought in Miguel, not Miguel Benitez Jr., but maybe he was there. Nice. But Miguel from Coco. And you know what? It's just a wonderful pavilion, and it's a pavilion I like to do at the end of my trip around the World Showcase. But I know people like to go the other way. Isaac Nail, welcome into the stream, buddy. Great to see you. So Meg, Mexican pavilion, Mexican food, Grand Fiesta Tour, love it.
Or yes to everything.
Everything.
Mexico is one of my favorite pavilions too. I would say my top 3 are probably Mexico, Norway, and Japan. Nice. And so I'm bummed that I didn't get to be there for when you guys talked about Japan, because that's probably my favorite pavilion. But
we'll do the Japan Fiasco episode at some point.
Yes. Also, I want to do one about the land. So Haley and Corey, Haley has to come on to talk about the land pavilion because, oh my gosh. But obviously, like you said, Grand Fiesta Tour is an incredible ride. I remember going on there as a kid, and there was literally no wait. And I feel like more recently, people have come to learn that there is actually a ride inside the pavilion. I felt like when I was a kid, they did not have that sign out there, and then no one knew that there was a ride in there. So I would just go on that ride back to back to back to back, and I would not get off because I loved it so much. And then they added the new animatronics to it.
Yeah, they changed it because it was the screen originally, wasn't it? It was so you would see Panchito and Jose and Donald on a screen at the end, but they brought in the animatronics from, I think it was the archives, actually, the Disney archives, wasn't it?
I don't know where they got them, but they're awesome.
They're amazing. They're really great.
And then I love how everything is themed in there. I haven't gotten to eat it inside. Like, I want to be able to overlook the ride. And then same with Disneyland. When I go to Disneyland, I want to be able to eat in the Blue Bayou and overlook Pirates. Like, that's just another one of my Disney bucket list things, like just to be able to overlook the rides. And I mean, I think Jeff said it before. I don't drink, but my mom loves jalapeno margaritas. And so she loved the one at Disney. And I love that they introduced Coco and all the Dia de los Muertos items into the pavilion. And then my main man, Mexican Donald, I love him. He's amazing. He always is such a good time. And I mean, the food, the atmosphere, the ride, the character, I mean, can't go wrong in Mexico.
I'm so glad that you pronounced the Day of the Dead festival in the Mexican accent, because if I tried to do it, it'll be just as bad as me doing my American accent. So
wait, do an American accent.
Oh gosh. Can I get some water? Yeah, I'm gonna stop doing that.
Can I get some water?
Can I get some water? Oh gosh. No, I completely agree. I love the fact you can sit down and eat while looking at the Grand Fiesta Tour attraction, but it has got busy, and you know who I blame? As much as I love Josh and Jenna, they have thousands of people on their stream, and they always go on Grand Fiesta, and now everybody knows about our little secret. So Josh, I love you, pal, but stop bringing people on Grand Fiesta Tour. Actually, stop that.
I actually hit 1,000 subscribers on a Resort TV 1 stream while they were doing Grand Fiesta Tour.
Nice. I love it. Oh gosh, Jeff is talking about my accent. Oh dear. That's not an accent. That was English. Yeah. Well, we're not going to go into a accent debate because I would win. No, I'm kidding. Because I'm surrounded by Americans right now. Yeah. No, I completely agree with everything, and how much you enjoy that pavilion. But I want to come to Walt. Mexican Pavilion. Have you eaten there? What about the attraction? What's your take on the Mexican Pavilion?
Favorite pavilion in all of World Showcase, and I don't even like Mexican food.
Wow.
I'm serious. I love the Morocco Pavilion, probably a close second. I don't even eat Mexican food, and I love the pavilion. Everything about the pavilion is fantastic. I love the fact that you have to go inside for it. Like you said, it looks like you're at night at like a marketplace. All the different little stores they have, all the little shops, all the little carts. I bought a poncho in there. I love my poncho. I wear it all the time in the winter. It's a fantastic pavilion. It's beautiful in there. The Grand Fiesta Tour is one of my favorite rides. I hope no offense to Coco, but I hope they don't change it.
Yep.
This is one IP I don't want to, we can find Coco somewhere else. I would really like this to stay as the Grand Fiesta Tour. Yeah. I love this pavilion. It's fantastic. And if I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will climb the wall. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you've heard it here, folks. You've heard it here, folks. For 1,500, he's doing Tower of Terror, and he's going to go even higher with the steps.
We're going to make Walt streams.
There we go.
Great pavilion. I love it.
Pavilion.
They don't have and they have the meet and greet with Donald as one of the three caballeros. You can't beat that either. Fantastic.
Corey Meets World is in the stream. Welcome in, pal. Great to see you, and happy Saturday. And I believe, am I not wrong? You're going to D23. That's the breaking news. But Corey Meets World is in the stream. For some reason I thought he was at Galaxy's Edge. Or are you at Galaxy's Edge? You're not telling anybody. Great to see you, pal. Hope all is well. Disney Nerd Herder says, Dan, can you say aluminum properly? You should have had properly at the end there. Aluminium.
Aluminium.
Because that's how it's spelled. That's a cheeky grin.
You also said Parmesan.
Yeah, it's Parmesan.
It's not Parmesan.
Because if it's Parmesan, there needs to be an H.
And his garage.
After the S. So it's Parmashan.
Well,
that's Parmesan.
Like to teach the English class, Dan, we can have another stream about that as well.
Like I said last week, don't get me started on how you guys say herbs, because it's wrong. Herbs.
How can you tell somebody their language is wrong?
Hey, you speak English.
Also, Dan, you're like the only British.
No, we speak American.
Dan is the only British person. He's like surrounded by Americans.
Dougie, where are you, pal? Dougie just said, I've had enough of this. And he's
Hey, you speak.
The Scots aren't big fans of the English anyway, so it's fine. Love you, Dougie. You're a good friend. So I've completely lost track now.
It's Steve's turn.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mexico. Steve.
I like all the countries. I really do. But Mexico's probably in the bottom half for me.
Okay.
And here's the reason why. I always start with Mexico because I don't want to end up there. I'd rather start there and end up on the other side, because the second from the American Adventure to Canada is my favorite half of the pavilion. But I love Mexican food, and there's two different kinds of Mexican food there. You have authentic Mexican food at La Hacienda de San Angel, I think it is, and the other one is regional Mexican food, which is not quite authentic. But so you got your choice between which one you like, which one you don't. The part that I don't like is I don't like how dark it is inside there and how tight and everything is. I understand it's part of the culture. I get that. But I just don't like how everything is not structured at all. And
Right.
it's tight. People don't know where to go. They run into you all the time. And it's dark. The Grand Fiesta Tour in the very, very back of that building was a hidden gem until everybody found out about it. It's fantastic. I love the Mexican culture and the Mexican architecture. I just wish you could see it inside there. And I wish they would illuminate that a lot more. That's the only gripe I have about it, is it's just dark and unstructured. And that, I mean, you have to cross over different ways just because of all the little booths and everything in there. I just wish it was a little more laid out properly or not properly, but better for me. Right. And the light was a little better in there so you could see what was going on.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it is quite claustrophobic in there, and it is quite dark, and yeah, I can see that. And I think people who, if you like more spread out pavilions, I think it's definitely not that at all. It actually is a lot more like the Moroccan pavilion, weirdly.
Because I would be okay with it if it was just lit up a little more, so you could see where you were going, see what you were doing.
Right. There's been a debate in the chat of me saying another word. I should do like a stream on how Dan says American words. So you want me to say basil, right? It's called basil because that's what the herb is spelt. And if you want to get all technical, there is a little movie that Disney, an American company, made called Basil the Great Mouse Detective, and in the movie they say Basil.
They do indeed.
That's a mic drop right there, but a water bottle. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get such a load of stick from this. But yeah, no, I think the Mexican Pavilion is really, really great. Again, you know, it is. There is a little, you know, maybe they're going for the more of that authentic, you know, Mexican city festival kind of thing where it is kind of claustrophobic, but I do really like it. I do really enjoy it. I love Dan's accent brings to us. I don't know if that's a curse or just the way you're just laughing at me. But guys, we made it around the World Showcase. Now, there's one thing I would very quickly like to discuss before we head out, and that is a thing that we will sadly miss, or maybe not sadly miss if you're not a fan of it, but I will sadly miss it, and that is Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. For me, this is Epcot. This is the World Showcase. This is a representation of the world and all the countries that aren't featured in the World Showcase and brings everybody from every part of the globe together. You know, it's Illuminations, the nations coming together with Rosie. Oh, so cute. She's so adorable. I'm getting distracted by the doggy. But you know, I'm good. I'm really good at Miss Illuminations and how that affects the World Showcase as a whole. I love the fact that the majority of the pavilions light up at the end of the show, and I'm really gonna miss it. So, very, very quickly before we wrap up, let's
go on, Dan.
Let's just say a couple of things about Illuminations each before we do our last minute plugs and goodbyes. So, Illuminations, Meg.
3 words: fireworks, globe, goodbye.
You can start making me cry in a minute.
I mean, I like the show. I think the music's really beautiful. I think it'll be exciting to see what comes next. I have never had a good experience watching Illuminations, mostly because of the rude people around me. So the people definitely make it or break it. I don't know. I've had better experiences watching them on streams, but I like the fireworks. I like the music, but be excited for a new show too.
Okay, so you could be like, okay, I'm excited to see what's next, and not gonna miss it too much, I think. Walt,
I'm back.
You're back.
Sorry. I can't hear Meg, so I was listening to her on the YouTube channel.
Okay. Illuminations for you.
Illumination. I like Illuminations. Not my favorite fireworks show. I really like Happily Ever After. I think that's my favorite. I used to really not like Illuminations. I've grown to like it. I really like it. And I'm really happy we'll be able to see it one more time before it's gone in August. I do like it. I think it's going to be missed, but I'm looking forward to see what they're going to replace it with.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think we need to do like a big group last Illumination party and have some British food with it. Just saying. And very quickly, I remember watching Illuminations with Arjons. Gosh,
you watched Arjons with Arjons.
I watched Arjons with it's getting really late here and I'm losing my words. Steve, Illuminations for you.
Yeah, Illuminations for me is my favorite show that has ever been at Walt Disney World. I even like it more than Fantasmic, and it's going to be extremely sad to go. I think it's a perfect. The music is incredible. I think it's a perfect symbol of world unity. How they bring the countries together, show the things off the globe, the movies, light up the countries, and how everything uses lasers. But with that being said, there's always a need for change. So I'm excited to see what they bring. With what I've heard and what I've read about, the new show is going to be stunning. It's going to be more innovative. But yeah, Illuminations is always going to hold a place in my heart. But a lot of people said the same thing with Wishes, and it got replaced. And I think the new fireworks show there is better. The one thing I'm really excited about, though, is the last time I went, I knew it was going to be my last show. I tried to film it. And like Meg said, the people make or break it. I had a fast pass for it, perfect viewing. I was going to film a nice film because I don't have a very good film of it. And the tallest guy in the world walked around, looked straight at me, and then walked right in front of my camera and stood there. And there was nobody else in there. I was livid, and everybody around us was making comments about him. He didn't care. There was nobody else around. He stood right in front of my camera on purpose, and it really ticked me off.
That's like literally what just happened to me when I went in May, and I'm not that tall. Like literally like 4 really, really tall people, like 6'4", decided to stand right in front of me. And I'm like, okay. And then let me get on this tangent too, because this other woman was sitting down and there was like 10 feet in front of her. And my mom went to go stand next to me. And she was like, she didn't even say, excuse me. She was like, you're standing in my spot. Yeah. I can't see. And this was like 15 minutes before the show started. And I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah. You're like sitting down on the ground.
Well, and I had my camera set up in the back too on a trash can. I had it on a tripod on the trash can, and the guy came and stood right in front of it to block it. I mean, it was bad, but we're all going to get to go down there again. And I'm trying to organize, Dan, like you said, a party. I want to do a live stream from Illuminations one night from a different streamer from every country so that people can experience it from all the way around the Worldshowcase. And then just get to enjoy it. I'm so happy that they moved it to September 30th. And then we'll get to see it. I'll probably see it 3 or 4 times in August when I go down.
Steve, was that you? I feel really bad for blocking your view.
You weren't tall enough to block my view.
I just remember a lot of people shouting at me and this guy wearing a Nike hat just shouting at me to get out of the way of his stream.
I'll share the footage with you guys. I was not happy. So,
and Corey says exactly. We should always be open to change, including open to changing the way we pronounce words. Cough, cough. Dan. On that note, guys. Firstly, I would like to apologize for Walt for running over into his stream time. And I just want to say thank you to all my wonderful guests. Episode 54 is in the books. And this was a fun double bill. This was a fun double stream over 2 weeks that we really enjoyed doing and had a lot of fun walking around the Worldshowcase with you guys. If you'd like to, I'm going to actually put these two in a separate playlist. So if you'd like to take that tour around Worldshowcase with us, you can do it on a separate playlist. Meg, it's so good to have you back. Thank you so much. I hope you had a wonderful trip to Disney. Now school's finished. I hope you had a fantastic time to get away and relax.
It's only starting again.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
School. So I've been working like a lot since I got home for school, and my classes start again on Monday. So it's like I only have like 2 weeks off.
Okay, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Think about great Asian food like sushi and.
I would love to have some sushi right now.
There we go. Tangent. Not too about school. But thank you so much, guys. If you guys have not checked out my partner channel, Mickey's Magic, I don't know what you guys are doing. She does an amazing, amazing job on her channel, and just everything about it is so awesome, and I'm looking forward to more of her vlogs from Disney with very, very special guests. I think your next one is actually with the famous Arjons, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Which I'm really excited about. But thank you so much again, Meg, for joining us once again.
Thanks, Dan.
And you can follow her at Mickey's Magic on Twitter and on Instagram as well. My other partner channel, again, I'm sorry for running over, but 10 minutes time, Sports Night. Not talking about the Champions League final, thank goodness, because otherwise I would be very upset. Sports Night with the two fine gentlemen we have here, Walt and Steve, but my other partner channel, Walt from Mouse Talk. Thank you so much again, buddy. And guess what, buddy? It's June, so guess what? It's
Star Wars
Sunday,
month. Yeah.
Star Wars month. Star Wars Sunday. We need to find a time to do that this month. Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and it's gonna be very exciting. But thank you again, my friend, and and anything upcoming for you?
Well, thanks. First off, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. These are always fun, and I'm always honored to be included in any of these streams. So we definitely appreciate that. We joke a lot, but it definitely means a lot to us that we're included. We enjoy it. We just enjoy it a lot. Of course, we have Sports Night coming up next. We're gonna have a great time with that. It's a really good subject, I think, tonight. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. We'll have two special guests. Dole Whip Dad will be there, and Miguel from A Disney Life for Me will be there, along with Steve and I. We're going to have a great time with it. And, of course, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do streaming as well. I just, again, appreciate it. Great to be on with Meg again. Hadn't seen her in a while. Good to see you, Meg, even though I can't hear you because of my computer. And Steve,
what's weird,
of course, as usual, my other partner channel. We appreciate it very much.
What's so weird is I'm not popping up on the screen on YouTube.
On the YouTube, yeah, it's a little weird.
It's Ghost Meg again.
It's Ghost Meg again. I don't know what's going on. YouTube is always. Who knows what's going on? Who knows what's going on? Steve Bow, my power channel. Steve is killing it with all the live streams and all the content he's bringing out, and it's always fun to have you on the streams as well, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much, man. It is an honor to be on this show. I really, truly love it every time you guys ask. You and Meg and even when Corey was here, it was just, you guys are some of the greatest people I know through YouTube, and it's just an honor to be here. But yeah, I'm getting kind of addicted to this live streaming thing. So besides going on some guest spots, one of my partner channels, Walt from Mouse Talk, we do our sports show tonight. Usually it's at 8 o'clock. We're going at 8:30 tonight. I got my regular stream on Mondays, and now at 8 o'clock as well. And then I think we're settling into another permanent stream with myself, myself, Zippity Doodad, the Shep family, and Brandy and Dave. We were all hanging out on Google Hangouts a few times and decided why not go live. So we tried it, and we're going to start doing that on Wednesdays, I think, at 9:30 as well. We'll be on Zippity Doodad's channel this week. So we're going to talk about the boardwalk. So I got 3 shows now that I'm kind of fixed into each week. So we'll see how it goes.
2:30 a.m. I would have to make that show.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Guys, move it closer so I can watch. No, kidding. But awesome. I love that. I actually did watch the stream. It was so much fun. And again, thank you so much for watching. And speaking of my other partner channels, firstly, as Haley is still here, hopefully, Haley and Corey from Corey Fiasco, a wonderful partner channel and great friends of ours. If you haven't checked out Corey and Haley's channel, please go and do so. It's absolutely wonderful. And they are just so awesome. And also, Corey, again, super jealous. You're out in Galaxy's Edge right now. So,
right, sons.
Yeah, didn't even message us. Didn't say he flew the Falcon. Didn't.
I saw a bunch of pictures on his social media.
And if you follow the Diz too on Instagram, he does a lot of the Instagram stories. So
yeah.
So if you guys haven't checked out Corey on the Diz, please do so. He does an amazing job. And my final partner channel, RobFuz. If you haven't checked out Rob's channel, he does pub talk with us. He just did Frankie Friday, and he's got some great content as well. All amazing partner channels, and this has been an amazing stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. Episode 54 is in the books. You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Disney Dan. We are 600 hours. 600 hours away from monetization. It's been a long road, but we're nearly there. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I've got a video hopefully coming out tomorrow. So I hope you guys really enjoy. Thank you so much, everybody. Head over to Mouse Talk's channel right now. Tell them I sent you. And after Mouse Talk's stream, head over to Josh and Jenna's stream for Resort TV 1 and tell them I sent you as well. So thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Cordy Ray Mortars, hello. And sorry, unfortunately, goodbye. But thank you so much for joining in as well. But thank you, everybody who joined us today. Head over to Mouse Talk, and we'll have a wonderful continuation of our evening. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Live your life with a smile each and every day. And I'll see you guys all for next week's Disney Fiasco. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.